Welcome back to this week's Faulty Logix podcast. My name is Billy.
Wayne.
And this is Dan, and we also have a special guest this week, Gloria.
Hi, guys.
So this week we have something a little bit different. We saw on YouTube that our fellow YouTuber, I guess, Furious Pete, posted a video about him having cancer. We're going to link everything below, but we highly recommend that you guys watch it. It has a very important message about sharing and telling your friends if they have any kind of symptoms or anything, get it checked out. He provides a lot of information about his previous cancer too, so make sure you check that out. So we watched the video, guys. What do you guys think?
It was heavy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw 5 minutes of it. I'm like, I should have watched this guy a long time ago.
Didn't have the sad music, like the sad, somber music.
Bring you know who up.
Yeah. When I saw it, I was like, I wasn't subscribed to his vlogs, and then I just immediately like wanted to follow along in his like journey of what he was going through. And since then, he's actually posted quite a lot of stuff. So I actually didn't know what like the process of going through chemotherapy was. I didn't know you had to sit there for like 6 hours, a needle injected in you, and you just sit there. It was crazy. And he has like this IV flush afterwards. So he just sits there some more, and it's God.
Yeah, I heard it really takes a toll on a person's body.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't you ever watched House?
No.
50-50
What's 50-50?
with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah. He had to go through chemotherapy
Oh
as
yeah,
well, too.
that's true. He was just sitting there.
Yeah, but I think the whole movie was more so him trying to accept the fact that he has the cancer.
Yeah, then the actual process of cancer.
Right.
'Cause if you watch the vlogs, like you can see the nurse like trying to like poke the thing in, and then the doctor talked to him about what's going to happen.
On Ferris Pete's blog?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, he actually goes through the full process of it. Like it actually shows the doctor telling him like, "Oh, you're gonna have this weird taste in your mouth afterwards."
Oh, like a metallic taste. I think that's what I've heard.
Yeah, you start losing your sense of taste, and things start being a bit different.
Damn.
Actually, it's the vlog. I didn't watch it, but from the sound of it, it's like the polar opposite of Jordan Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
That one, yeah.
Joseph
Because I feel like Furious Pete didn't talk about the sentimental, emotional side almost at all.
Mhm.
It's very
information.
and it's very truthful, I think. And he didn't exaggerate emotionally about anything.
Yeah, because he probably had it before, so he probably got the shock like previously.
Yeah.
Because he previously had testicular cancer, right? So during that time, he probably had the emotional shock. Because at the end of the video, he was almost like, "I'm gonna beat this thing. I want to like never have cancer again."
Mhm.
Like he just wants to fight it, right?
Yeah, his attitude is very confident, and he's just like, you know what, I'm done with this. Like, I'm gonna get it over with, so that it's never gonna come back. That kind of thing. So, the way that he was dealing with it was very strong and powerful, and it's very encouraging in my opinion, because when you talk about cancer and things like that, it's a very hard topic to talk about. But when you're so strong about it and positive, it kind of makes other people feel they can accomplish the things that they're trying to fight as well too, right?
Yeah, having such a strong message is like, like when I was watching it the very, very first time when it came out, like I was like, damn, such a lazy ass. Like I want to do something about it, right? Like I want to like contribute more in some capacity to it, right? Because his first vlog, when he showed him going to the ER and then waiting in line, he waited like 2 to 3 hours for his appointment. I'm like, 2 to 3 hours.
That's the standard wait time in Toronto hospitals. Every time I brought my grandma to the hospital, you're waiting 2 to 3 hours.
But that's like just
for a
an
checkup.
ER, right? Oh, just
No,
a checkup. So
just
you
a
have the
checkup. Like
appointment.
my grandma, even till now, she'll always have to go to the hospital every few months, and then now it's my brother normally goes with her, right?
Yeah.
They'll be there for like half a day.
See, I don't know because I never go to the doctor.
Yeah, don't you find that like unacceptable though? Like you made it an appointment, and it still takes you that long to then
No, you know,
attend it.
okay, the thing that pissed me off, it's the way they book an appointment. There's several patients booked for the exact same time slot.
It's like a lottery draw. Good
Yeah,
luck.
pretty much. Because I remember last time when I overheard someone saying that they need to see the same doctor and that they have this time, which is the same time as my grandmother. So I'm like, what the fuck? So it's pretty much like within 3 hour time span.
Mhm.
They probably book like 10, 20 people for that exact same time, and then they'll try to do it all within the 3 hours. That's what it feels like. And then if you're like the unlucky one to be the last one of that group, then you're there for a long time.
That sucks.
Yeah, that's I don't know. I feel like there has to be a better system to do it, right? Because waiting that long when you're sick is a terrible experience, especially like because if you're the one that's sick, you usually can't transport yourself around, so there is someone else with you, and then that person then has to wait too, and then that person gets frustrated for no reason other than the fact that the system is so slow, right?
Yeah, and you know what? It's probably just a way for the hospital to make money because parking there is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Like $20.
Plus, I think per patient, they register for the OHIP, they get money for it, right? Regardless if they actually attend or not, or when they attend.
I mean, for the doctors.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Well,
is
for
like...
the hospital in general. Well, not the doctors. I'm pretty sure the doctors will be like, hey, I want to get to this patient immediately, but the hospital wants to get money, so they're like, they book those 8 patients in a row, right? When they know that it's impossible.
No, it's possible. Because that's just their standard practice, though. They're not going to overbook to a point where people's not going to come because, these people, they need to see the doctors because their life depends on it, right? So they're going to have to sit there until they see the doctor.
Yeah. But what I don't like is that standard practice, right?
Yeah, but
it's very bad. Like,
I guess it's just, it takes the responsibility of the doctor to meet them on a timely manner away from the doctor. Because if they can create this culture of that it will always be late, then they're really never liable.
That's
what I mean?
Oh, that's exactly
every
the
time
problem
you
I
go,
have with it, though.
the problem
It's
is
so bad.
it's always late. So it's something that you should expect when you go to the doctors. It's gonna be late.
That's such a bad
Yeah,
expectation.
it's very bad. But what can you do, right? You need to see the doctor.
But that's that's one of those things that I feel very strongly about is that when I see like things like that, it's so ineffective how it is, and it's such there's such simple solutions out there that can solve this, right? Like when I saw the video of him going to the hospital, right, he pulls a piece of paper and then waits and goes sits down. Like, why don't they have these things digitally recorded somewhere and then they send you a text message on your phone or something, right? Or you use your phone and check in, right? Like if they can automate the restaurant system this way, they should be able to do it hospitals this way, right?
True.
But you gotta think about, for that system to work, everyone needs to have data plans.
My personal experience, big companies, like I work in an insurance company, and it's one of the top ones. And organization like the hospital, the bigger they are, the less capacity they have to become digital. So a lot of our files are still very paper-based.
Yeah.
And I think because of the size of the organization, it's hard to just convert everything to digital and electronic stuff.
I wish there was like a big sweeping innovation though, because technology comes in big sweeps, right? Like usually like one person innovates and then a whole chain of events occurs. It seems like they're so stuck in the 90s that you would be able to save so many lives if there's more emphasis on it, right? Like the doctors can perform at a certain speed, right? But it seems like the system that allows them to perform is a lot slower.
And I think that does happen too, but just based on my experience in my work as well too. Sometimes I also work in insurance, so these insurance companies have been using the same system for like X number of years, and they're trying to move on to something that's more streamlined and it can do everything in one unit rather than opening up multiple programs to get everything done and jumping from program to program. And that costs a ton of money to streamline everything. So
the funding is the biggest problem.
Yeah, so it's whether or not these companies are willing to put that money into that to make it easier on their employees, right? So
because I guess I see it from because I work at a software company, right? So I see it like how easy it is to do, but there is a lot of politics in terms of like if you're upgrading something, right? There's going to be a whole slew of people who are so used to the way it currently is that they don't want to change. There's going to be a lot of like for hospitals specifically, there's a lot of privacy issues, right? Like you can't have a lot of people's information in certain places, right? So then they're going to have to hire teams of people to manage the privacy, and then there's going to be more work then to do, right? So I do understand that, but it just seems like it's such an easy thing to solve that they should just, I guess, address it in a better way, right?
Yeah. So bringing it back to what you said earlier, Billy, about how he was really urging people to reach out to friends if they feel like the friends may be having some symptoms that are lingering and stuff like that, to urge those people to check it out, especially in the youth, where us being young, we think we're invincible.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I am invincible.
For myself personally, I felt the same way as well too. I rarely go to the doctors. I feel like I don't really need to go unless I'm like dying. So you guys may not know this, or some of you guys do, regular listeners. A lot of you guys are people we know. But I've had this lingering cough that has been around for probably like 5+ years, and it's just
that is a long time.
Yeah, it's just a cough that's kind of there. And it's almost become like a part of who I am almost. I don't even notice it sometimes. But everyone notices it, especially people that meet me for the first time. They always notice I have this cough. It wasn't until recently that I really started caring about my health. And I had a sore throat probably about like 3 weeks ago. The last time we recorded our podcast, you might have noticed that I didn't really speak as much. I had a super sore throat and I didn't even know why. They did a checkup. There's no bacteria in my throat or anything like that. And they urged me to get x-rays. And I think at that time was the first time I really brought it up that I had this lingering cough that's been around for years and years. And they're like, why didn't you tell your doctor about it? I was like, I don't know. Like, I just deal with it, you know?
That's how people are nowadays.
Yeah,
they don't want to deal with it because it's once you face it, it's a reality, right? Until you don't like address it, then it's no problem, right?
Right, and it's not killing me, so like it doesn't matter. It's just like this small cough, right? But the thing is, ever since I started working in this insurance industry, I've been talking a lot more. I'm constantly talking 8 hours a day to a lot of people.
You're talking more now too.
I'm talking more now after work, so my throat is constantly irritated and it doesn't really heal, and I always get sore throats and things like that. We edit out a lot of my coughing, and yeah, it's like right now I did an x-ray and they say I have some soft tissue in my lungs. They didn't say it's anything major yet, but just like Furious Pete said, you should keep following up on it because you really don't know what it is. Like, why do you have soft tissue there, right? So I will have to go through a follow-up x-ray and make sure that it is nothing serious, and hopefully that goes well. So don't be like me. Don't be stupid and like push it off and everything. If you guys have weird like moles that are growing on your skin and stuff like that, or weird lumps in your body, check it out.
Wayne just checked his arm out.
Yeah, so I think, Billy, you like mentioned earlier that you knew somebody that also had something.
But before that, though, I want to know, like, why did you suddenly start caring about the health, though? Like, what triggered that? Like,
honestly, I don't know.
Probably has benefits now.
Oh yeah, working in an insurance company.
That makes a difference. Once you have benefits, you kind of want to like make sure everything's fixed.
I had benefits like previously too. I just like changed jobs, and I haven't really, even during that time with the previous company, I never really took advantage of the benefits until this new job that I've had. But I don't really know why I started caring about it. But yeah, that time that I got sick and I couldn't really cough and I didn't know why. The doctors didn't know why. I had no bacteria. There's no reason for my throat to be swelling up and stuff like that. I don't know. At that point, I decided to make a couple of life changes at that point as well too. But I don't know. Like, maybe just becoming an adult.
Yeah. Adult just happened. In like 2016, adulting just happened.
Quarter age crisis, maybe.
No. For guys, it's like third life crisis already.
Yeah, so I had a coworker. He kind of had the same attitude as you, where he was just like, whatever, right? And I don't think anyone at the office knew about what he had. Essentially, on his arms, he did have some like bumps, right? So no one really thought anything of it. It's like, oh, okay, it's regular, right? Until like one day he told us all at the office, like, oh, I'm getting these tumors removed, right? We're like, oh, whoa, tumors, like, whoa. Because once everyone hears tumors, everyone gets scared and starts panicking, right? But they weren't cancerous tumors, so that was good. When he showed us the bumps, because when we were working, we were always wearing long sleeves, so we never actually saw the bumps itself. But when we saw it, it was like a noticeable bump. Like some of them were like ping pong sized bumps, right? So when you see that to someone that you know and you want them to like do something about it, but you can't be like, hey, get them removed, right? You know, you don't want to be that guy, right? You can just support them. Once you start seeing certain things like that, then you just really like go like, oh man, we're all getting old, right? Life is gonna keep coming at us with all of these surprising kind of things. But I was very happy that he got it removed and that he's hopefully addressing his situation more. But he does have some weird cough like you do too, though, where he keeps on coughing.
Maybe your office is just dry.
It could be.
Because I cough when I'm at work because it's dry. And I cough at home because it's dry.
Maybe you should get also checked up too.
Actually, no, my coughing actually gone down, so I think I'm safe. No, but I did have bronchitis for several years.
I've had bronchitis like twice before too, I think, or strep throat. The doctor really never told me what I had. But that's probably one of the reasons why I don't go to the doctor.
That's a very suspect doctor you have there.
It's more like, hey, I have these symptoms, and then they're like, okay, take these medicines. That's it. Like okay, so what do I have? Yeah, it's definitely good to go check it out sooner than later, because if it's something that you can prevent early on, it's way better than finding out afterwards when it's too late.
I feel like I'm relatively healthy, so I never had to think about all this stuff, but I'm always aware of this. Yeah, I like to perceive it from like other people, like loved ones that you know, right? So typically like from like your parents. I would imagine myself if I had a kid and they never took care of themselves. Like you spent so much time raising and caring for this person, right? And then at a certain point you can't do that anymore because they're an adult. So you expect them to have that same kind of care that you put in for them. So I always like to think, what kind of a son am I to my mom if I don't look after myself, if I don't like always check up. So on a yearly basis, since I was like, I think 23 or so, I always go to the doctors for like a checkup, right? So they take the blood, they take the stool, they take all that stuff, right?
Fucking Billy is so mature.
I know.
I never had that done yet.
No?
Like there's always blood. They just draw blood.
Cancer.
They only draw blood for me.
Yeah.
From everything that we've learned about Billy on these podcasts, it's like Billy's the most mature person ever.
You gotta
So
think about this. Think about this stuff, you know? Like, you gotta think about how your parents are gonna...
Wait,
think.
keywords on this podcast?
Yeah. It's all a lie, guys. I'm actually a terribly unhealthy person.
Wait, so your mom doesn't check up on you anymore?
No. Well, my mom hasn't checked up on me since I was like probably 12
Like
years
even
old.
now, if my mom knows I have a cold, she'll call me right away and be like, "Have you seen the doctor yet?"
Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess she thinks I can't take care of myself.
Oh, my mom's been nagging at me for like ever since I had this cough. Like, why doesn't your cough go away? Like, you need to drink this soup. You need to drink this stuff. I'm like,
Secret Chinese soup that cures everything.
It's probably always the same soup too. I swear to God.
It's the chicken broth, right?
I have no
The
idea.
black chicken broth.
It has like these little like beans in them that taste weird. I don't know what it is.
Like 5 years of your mom nagging to make you drink soup.
I love soup. I'll drink it. It's just like it doesn't work.
So do you guys ever like feel like when you watch these things get inspired to try to do something though? Because there was a movie for Stephen Hawking.
Theory of everything.
Yeah, that movie. Holy shit, that movie inspired the shit out of me. So whenever I see like things like this, I always feel so motivated to do something in life.
Wait, but do you do something? Because okay, I'll watch it. Like I get all emotional watching stuff like this. Even like Furious Pete. Like after 5 minutes, I was like, damn, what am I doing, right? I should really do something. But then, day after.
Yeah, I find that receiving motivation and being motivated is kind of different.
Yeah.
Like, motivation is like when you watch Furious Pete, right? But being motivated is the hard part. Like, even doing things like the podcast now, right, is things that has come from motivation, right? Like, I wouldn't regularly do this when I was younger because I was like really lazy, right? I was just like, oh, whatever, I'll do this tomorrow. Or like, like when you're in school, you're like, oh, I'll get better grades next year. You always push it off to your future self. But now, like, I always do things now. Even today, like that website, right? I just wanted to do it because I was like, shit has to get done,
You guys should check it out, by the way. It looks sick. FaultyLogix.com. With an X, not a C.
I don't even know how to spell it. But yeah, do you guys ever feel the motivation though?
All the time.
I feel like I might have. I can't really pinpoint a point in time, but I do feel like I watch these movies and stuff like that, and I feel a lot more motivated to do
He's
stuff.
like, he's not sure. He's like, what's this feeling that I'm feeling?
It's like confusing. It's like a tingling inside.
But for me personally, I'm always trying to get something done anyways. It's more or less like if I'm confident enough to actually do it, or I might be afraid that I'm not successful at doing it, and that's what pushes me off from doing it. So that's the hardest problem for me.
That is a very like regular thing. I think being afraid to fail at something is
Right.
always like that's the biggest hurdle. I feel like once you get past that and you start doing things and you start failing at doing things, you just get used to failing. It's
Yeah.
like whatever, right?
So one of the things that helped me kind of achieve or overcome that fear was this one quote. I started just using it in 2015. It was like my quote for the year to motivate me. And it's Wayne Gretzky's quote of, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a great
And
quote.
that quote has, like, literally, that one quote has been pushing me since 2015. I tried to change out my quote last year to something else. I'm like, no, that's a shit quote. Like,
That's such a Valley Girl approach. Oh, I'm going to change my quote. I need a new quote of life.
I said people are using that quote for every little thing, even the lottery. It's like, you'll never really win the lottery
No,
if you don't buy it.
That's dumb as shit, but... And the funny thing is, like, when I started using that Wayne Gretzky quote, somebody used it against me as well, too, because I was afraid to do something. And then they're like, oh, remember that quote that you posted? And I was like, oh, son of a bitch, you got me. I got to do it now.
Has there been anything for you, though, Gloria? Because we were talking earlier. You said that you drank a lot of coffee, which means that you must have been doing a lot of work.
Well, yes. There's something where you do so much work that you kind of get lost in the work and you don't know what you're doing it for. And at the time, I wasn't sleeping, so I truly wasn't sure why I was doing all this work.
Yeah. Did you feel like you had insomnia?
No, it's just no. It's not that I couldn't sleep.
You
It's just
refused
I
to.
couldn't.
You chose not to.
Yeah.
Wow.
And sleep at the time was just magic for me. Like it's those.
It's like sleep was for the weak.
It's a luxury. Yeah.
It's like you point to yourself, don't sleep.
Literally, yeah. Like I would set my alarm 2 meters or 5 meters away from my bed, so I have to crawl across the room to turn it off, and then I don't have to fall back to sleep. Because if it's right beside me, I'll just hit snooze every 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah. I do that all the time
Yeah.
now. Is it different now, though? Do you like sleep like a lot?
Yeah, ever since like after university, it's 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. That's like my sleep cycle. I try to maintain that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I try.
Right? 9 p.m.
Wait, what's so crazy about that?
Sleeping at 9 p.m. is very hard.
For
No,
someone
it's
in
not.
their 20s?
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
very hard.
On weekdays, though. On weekdays.
I guess because I'm old.
Do you sleep at 9 p.m. too?
How old are you?
I can't say.
Okay.
You can say how old you are.
I'm pretty sure we've
How
said
old
it
am
before.
I?
I don't know. You're like 30 something.
Let me think.
Billy
Or
always
19.
takes jabs at Wayne's age.
I'm 32 this year.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I sleep around 9 and 10.
Really?
Yeah, but you're 32.
Next year, you're gonna say she's like, go coffin shopping now.
That's crazy. Really? You both sleep that early?
No, I can.
You
I
can?
choose to sleep that early.
Oh.
Okay,
I find that
it's
that's...
a choice. Okay,
Yeah, that's like impossible for me at this point.
why not? Just
I-
close your eyes.
I sleep at like 1 a.m., 12.
Now?
Yeah, like regularly.
When do you have to get up for work though? Like, how many hours of sleep do you get in a night?
6 to 5. That's usually what my goal.
Damn.
Wait, what time do you go to work?
I don't know. I wake up and choose what time I go to work.
Oh, that's different because we have scheduled times to go to work.
I can be late for work and it doesn't really matter. But I try to generally wake up at like days I don't have to go to gym. I wake up at 7.
Mhm.
Days I do go to gym. I wake up at 6 a.m.
That's
So
alright.
somewhere around 5. That's why 5 to 6. And a few years ago I slept more, but for some reason I started sleeping less and less. So a few years ago I used to try to get 8 hours. Because once you hear that thing where you say you need 7 to 8 hours to work to be functional as a human being, right? And I was like, okay, I need this, right? And then once I realized this was kind of like a placebo thing that was affecting me, then I stopped doing that because I was like, I don't need like the 7 to 8.
Yeah, they say it varies from 6 to 8 depending on the person.
Yeah, depending on the
Yeah.
people, right?
No, it just has to be a regular thing
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you can't change it, and it has to be the same time. You should try sleeping at 9. It's great. You should really try sleeping at 9.
I can't.
No, there's something about waking up at 4 a.m. I assume you wake up at 4 a.m.
I don't
or
wake up
5.
that early.
He wakes up earlier than you.
You're the
3
only one,
a.m.
Gloria.
No, I don't wake up that early. I wake up around 6 a.m.
Ooh, okay, never mind. But there's something about waking up at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. It just, you feel like you can get so much.
I know
No,
exactly.
I
what
do. Whenever I do wake up at 4 a.m., I go right back to sleep.
How do you do that? If I sleep past 8 hours, I get a huge headache.
Oh no, for me, no. The thing is, okay, regardless of the time I go to sleep,
Yeah.
I'll wake up at the exact same time. Right?
see.
I could
Oh,
go to
yeah,
sleep
yeah.
at 8
That-
p.m.
that's really weird that you do that.
I could go to sleep at 8 p.m. or 12 a.m. and I'll wake up at 6 a.m.
I have that issue as well too. Except I wake up at like noon.
You have a totally different issue.
Because like,
Yeah, I'm like sleeping at 3 a.m.
like my sleep schedule, it's set to I'm waking up at 6 a.m. every single day. Like even today, I woke up at 6 a.m.
That's crazy. I can't do that.
So I went out to catch Pokemon.
Oh my god, that's this terrible reason to wake up at 6. But I know what you're talking about though, Gloria. When you wake up at like that, that's certain. There's like this golden time when you wake up. There was some weekends like a few months ago where I used to wake up at like 5 a.m. Then like I would go to Starbucks and I would do some work. I feel like it's such a huge like hit of dopamine or something where I'm so happy. I'm just like so productive. But then the problem I realized that around like noonish, I crashed like crazy. It was like this huge like downward spiral where I'm like, all right, I'm done. I can't do anything anymore. And after that, it's just like, I guess-
You need an afternoon nap, like the people
Yeah.
in China.
yeah, that's
Or they
basically
can-
what happened.
I think in Spain or something they have siestas.
Oh yeah,
What?
siestas,
What's
man.
siestas?
They
Yes.
take a nap in the middle of the day and then they
Yeah.
go back to work.
No, same with China too. When I went
Yeah.
to China, it's like my uncle would take a nap in the mid-afternoon.
He must be a rich person there.
It's very rich.
Yeah, because the poor people are working like
Oh, yeah, of
12
course.
hours a day.
Okay, so we're gonna try to talk about another YouTuber. It's kind of like been around in the news a lot recently. His name is Pewdiepie. I'm sure everyone knows who he is. A little background of the story. So he's been having this like beef with the what they call the media, right? But basically Wall Street
Wait,
Journal.
is he actually having beef or people just attacking him?
More like the Main Street media is attacking him.
Yeah.
Specifically, Wall Street Journal has been like targeting him, saying he's a Nazi, he's an anti-Semite. There's a lot of like videos going around, articles going around. What they do is they basically take clips of his videos. So there's one video where he was talking about the YouTube Hero program, which is basically an administrator of the comments.
I think it's just users right now are supposed to be a part of this thing where they help moderate YouTube.
Yeah,
basically.
it's just moderators, right?
Yeah.
So he made a satirical comment that these people will be like Hitler's or supporters or something like that, and then he did the whole Hitler hand thing.
Like the Heil Hitler.
Yeah, Wall Street Journal took all of that and then basically flipped that around, did some cutting of the video, and said that he's a Hitler supporter, right? And then because he in his video, or that video or some other videos, had pictures of him with Hitler. So he edited himself with Hitler next to it, and then they used that against him.
This is like one of the things I really hate about mainstream media right now. They're so fucking irrelevant that they're like manipulating stories and making fake news just to stay relevant. And
Well,
like
like-
so much of the shit they put out is not even legit. Like who you go to journalism, you go into school for journalism and everything, and you're not even doing your job properly. Like you pieces of shit.
As a person that doesn't know exactly what happened, because all I've read is pretty much still like all the headline articles, and from what I gathered is that YouTube did remove videos themselves because it did go against their guidelines.
YouTube never removed any videos, but they took away his sponsorship for his YouTube Red.
No, I
series.
thought they
never
didn't remove any
no,
videos.
His videos were not against their code of conduct, so they never removed any videos. And he actually made a response to that too, saying like he understands that YouTube and Disney basically dropped him as a label.
Right, because they want to protect their brand anyways.
Yeah. So if you actually like, we'll link the response somewhere. But he actually composed himself. He wasn't his Pewdiepie, like, because that's a front, right? Like that's
Right.
a character he
It's a
played
character.
essentially, right? So he responded as like Felix, right, his real self, to all of the attacks that were going on, everything like that. He addressed like almost every instance that they called him an anti-semite and a Hitler supporter. And there was one point where he said he basically admitted that he's a shitty comedian, right? He crossed the line. He went too far. He was trying to be funny, but it hurt and offended some people, right? So, you know, he addressed it, which I thought was very good. And after he made that public statement, they still were labeling him a Hitler supporter. And then the most recent ones, they were trying to compare him to Trump. They're saying basically he's using the same tactics as Trump, which is sensationalizing something and then backing away and then sensationalizing something again, right?
If you were a consultant for PewDiePie, asking what he should do now, what would you say?
I would say keep doing whatever the hell you're doing, because he showed, I guess, mainstream media's growth and profit and meaningfulness to the youth, and all the graphs were going down. Because I was trying to actually look for Wall Street Journal stocks, but when you Google Wall Street Journal stocks, it's very hard to find the Wall Street Journal's stocks itself. Because they post about stocks, right?
Right.
Because I wanted to see what their value was over the past few years, because I'm sure it's dropping. So in order to
Wait, do you know their ticker?
No, I don't. I was trying to find that. It was so hard to find.
Wait, are you sure they're even are they
Publicly
being
traded?
traded? Yeah,
I don't know. I was hoping
because I
they
know
were.
TMX is traded and their ticker's just X.
I was hoping they were, because they're such a big company.
Not necessarily.
And that's exactly to the point that I said earlier. Like they're starting to become irrelevant, and they're trying to stay irrelevant.
So yes, they're basically losing so much funding. So then they have to like create these crazy headlines and all this stuff. And I don't know if you listen to Philip DeFranco. I think Dan listens to him, right?
I used to.
So you
hate him now?
No, I just don't find him. It's not. He doesn't produce a content that I enjoy listening to. So.
Well, the more recent ones, I actually found that I enjoyed more, because he likes to address both sides of the story a bit more than other forms of media, right? Like, I think he's a legitimate form of media now. There's a lot of things out there where it's all like left facing or right facing, and who cares? Like, just get the facts out, right?
Right.
What is the point of it, right? Like, if someone says something crazy, like if someone says PewDiePie is a Hitler supporter, like, what are the facts? Like, is he a Hitler supporter?
Right.
What is the contributing arguments for that, right? And if he is, then I don't know, like, go shit on him all you want then. But there needs to be some kind of like follow up. So what Philip DeFranco wants to do, actually, because he said it many times, is he wants to actually make a media company now and fight against those like Wall Street Journal companies. They have such an archaic way of doing things now, and they're supposed to be journalists, like you said, right, Dan? But they're not doing what journalists do. They're not fact-checking things. They're not like writing about stuff. They're basically converting themselves to BuzzFeed and writing like really ridiculous articles now.
Yeah, it's more about getting the article out first rather than getting the article correct. And this kind of plays into the Liberal Party as well too. And I think this is one of the greatest downfalls of the Liberal Party and why Trump is so successful. They don't know how to argue back or debate back using facts as well. Mm-hmm. All they do is kind of insult to the other party they're arguing against and like try to make them look stupid rather than debating with valid facts and points. Like, it's super easy to debate the Conservative Party, but the Liberal Party is just so stupid that they just resort to like childish insults and everything.
Well, it's also very hard to, at the moment of debates, when someone says a crazy fact, like imagine like they were having a debate and they're like, cancer is cured, so our party was the one that contributed $9 billion towards it. And it's hard to fact check that at the moment, right? And the Liberal Party can't say anything about that because they don't know whether or not it's true or false. Because if they say like, no, you didn't, and then they did, they're like, oh shit, Liberal Party hates cancer,
right.
like
hates
curing cancer, right?
What they'll do instead is be like, yeah, well, you're racist. That's it.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, I feel like they've been backed into a corner where that's all they got now, right? That's all they can do. Is like, what can you do? You don't know if what the other person's saying is true or false anymore, right?
Right.
because the moderators don't give a fuck anymore, right? They just like let things go.
But don't you guys think people of this generation are kind of different from older generations?
Millennials?
I guess, yeah.
We
Because
hate millennials.
because when we hear a fact, I would assume we just don't believe it just like that. Usually, we just instinctually Google it and find out more about it to see if we should believe it compared to.
I do agree with you. I would assume that we would be like that. And a lot of people are using the internet more resourcefully and trying to find facts. The thing is that there's also this whole other world of millennials that are just online trolls. And they'll be creating fake facts as well too, and everyone just believes it. You can just create fake statistics, and people will share it on Instagram and Facebook and be like, "Oh shit! Like, can you believe this?" and stuff like that. And like people believe it. There's no fact checking in that regard.
I actually think like the opposite, Gloria, where I feel like our generation is worse. Like I feel like if you're in an enclosed area of like intellectuals where everyone's always critically thinking and always like when they read something they don't go like, "Oh, it has to be true." Like most Facebook articles, most people that I talk to would ask questions about that, right? But there's a whole other side of the world I think that we're not exposed to that will read it, immediately click the share button and be like, "Can you believe this asshole is doing this?" and like and then they'll never actually read it, right? Because they'll just read the headlines and that's it.
Yeah.
The thumbnail is all they need. And
a lot of times even when there is incorrect information and stuff like that, people are sometimes afraid to call anybody out because they don't want to be the one that's wrong, even though they feel like they are right.
No one wants to do the research, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, nobody really speaks up.
And also, not just the research. I think there's this thing where if a meme is so beautifully written, even though it's false, you don't want to ruin that artwork, kind of, by supplying it with the real information. There's a little bit of that in it, too.
Yeah, so the world is basically full of some trolls.
Okay, real talk, though. Do you think this is damaging to PewDiePie?
No.
No, right? Why the fuck should anyone care? The only people that's hating are the people that's not following. And by putting articles out like this, his viewership probably increased like tenfold.
And I think the good thing about him losing those partnerships and everything like that is that he is no longer kind of held down by like a ball and chain. He's free to do whatever the hell he wants now.
Because PewDiePie, you do you, man. Why does he need to restrict his like material?
Right.
I'm sure PewDiePie, the only people he wants to have listen to is his fans, the one that likes his material. The people that's hating, they're hating because they don't know who he is, what his material's like. He's like the highlight of the world right now.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, there's that saying that is like, if you don't have any haters, you haven't made it yet.
No, but for him, he can't just be like that, right? Like, he can't just be like, "Oh, I just care about my audience," right? Because he is the biggest YouTuber. He has 50 million plus subscribers. And when you're in that public state, like you have to have the responsibility to say, my content influences a larger number of people than I want it to. He's the role model basically right now that's leading the charge against big media.
His following is larger than the population of Canada.
Wow.
Yeah. He has 53 million subscribers right now.
Versus 32.
With all these bad news, his actual followers, they know the real story. They're not going to be affected by it because they probably watch all the material and they'll be like, "What the fuck are all these headlines talking about?" Right?
Chances are his followers are like little kids that don't read the Wall Street Journal anyways.
So who follows PewDiePie? Because I don't. What's he about?
He's he used to be a gamer. Now he's more of a like social commentary stuff. And he just makes like silly videos right now, right? But I think the biggest point is that the way he handled everything was very good. Like, he could have been like, "Fuck these guys, like I don't want to listen to them. These guys are just saying nonsense," and basically done the same thing that the other side did, which is mudsling at them, right? And it can go back and forth. But I felt like he addressed it in a way that was actually a mature. He pulled back and took a step back and was not PewDiePie when he addressed it, right? He was Felix when he addressed it. So it was very like good way of handling it.
Yeah. So he was his own publicist.
Yeah, because you look at him, he's like this he makes video game content. He looks like an idiot, right? He handled it so well. Like, he handled it really smartly. Okay, so let's lighten things up. Let's talk about some movies. Oscars came out with nominations for Best Pictures, but we're going to forget all of those because those are boring movies. And we're going to go into some other more fun ones. So on our Facebook, we posted something about Beauty and the Beast. There was a pretty awesome kind of like snippet of Voldemort and Hermione Granger, basically. So if you haven't seen that, we'll put the links below.
This movie is coming out, and a lot of people are really looking forward to the movie, and there's a lot of controversy surrounding it as well, too. Growing up in our generation, this is one of the big Disney movies that did come out, and having it remade, the way that it's being remade is very different from other remakes we've seen from Disney, because the older remakes that we had, like what is it, Cinderella and Maleficent, those kind of things. It's a Sleeping Beauty remake kind of. They kind of put a twist on the stories where it's kind of a darker side of it, or they're putting it a different perspective.
Well, Maleficent, because no one can pronounce it.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a remake.
You can't pronounce it.
No, there was a clip of people going on the streets trying to ask people how to pronounce it. No one can do it. But that wasn't really a remake. It's the same
story in a different perspective.
Yeah. It was a great movie, though.
It was a really good movie, and that's one of the cool things that Disney has been doing, where they're doing their stories in a different light. And the thing with Beauty and the Beast is that when you look at the trailer, it looks like they're trying to do it exactly the same as how the movie was, but a live action.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that's kind of a mistake that they're making? Should they have done it with a different perspective?
I'm kind of biased here because Beauty and the Beast, it was my favorite princess story. So I don't think they need another perspective, because out of all the princesses, this one actually had some plot to it. Like, you kind of get why she fell in love with the guy or the beast. Whereas Sleeping Beauty, the girl just sleeps there for the entire story.
Yeah. That is true. I never really, I don't know, I didn't watch too much of the princess ones, like, in depth, so I never really, like, thought about it, but that is true that she actually liked him for his character, and not just because he was a prince, and he was handsome, right, and he just appeared out of nowhere with a horse.
So, in regards to the casting, there's been a lot of controversy in regards to Emma Watson playing the role of Belle. A lot of people really like it because they think that she does look like the character. And a lot of people are not liking it because they're saying that she doesn't have that same kind of feel towards her. Like, Belle is supposed to be a very, I guess, humble and naive girl that lives in a little poor village. Whereas Emma Watson, she's a very confident woman, very strong, confident.
But you can't say shit like that. You can't reflect the actors or actress real life against the character that they're playing. Because, like, Jared Leto, I'm sure he's not a real Joker in real life. Even though I don't like his Joker. Do you guys like his Joker?
No.
I don't even know who he is.
Suicide Squad.
I refuse to see it.
It was trash. Don't waste your time.
I refuse to see it.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I got it.
People's going to watch this, men or women, because according to 9gag, that's their queen.
It's true. Emma Watson is 9gag queen.
So everyone's just going to watch it just because of Emma Watson. Not because it's Beauty and the Beast. You know what Gloria was saying about how it's good that nothing was changed? This is like the old saying, why fix something that's not broken, right? Because you also have those, what are they called? Keyboard heroes or whatever?
Yeah, keyboard warriors.
Yeah, keyboard warriors. If they change even the slightest bit of the movie and it turned out bad, everyone's just going to be like, you changed it, you fucked it up.
Yeah, loyalists.
What I like about it, how they kept the same, is to get the attention of all the new generation, so they can experience what we experienced. That's how I'm looking at. Because if they change something, then that means they're just having an entirely new movie. They might as well call it something different.
That's true. I don't think they need change just for the sake of change.
You know what I don't like about Emma Watson being Belle, though? She has this smirk, the Emma Watson smirk. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
That
side smirk
is really not fitting for Belle's character.
You know what? I feel that's how I imagined Belle. Exactly what Emma Watson's like, because according to, I don't know about the comments about the little village kind of thing, but Belle was supposed to be this well-read, intellectual woman.
Right.
Was she a maid?
No, she was a daughter of an inventor from a poor province.
Who didn't see the world the same way that woman at the time saw the world. She was like a very independent, strong-minded woman.
Right, but she was a dreamer. She was always hopeful and dreaming.
She sounds exactly like Emma Watson. Like exactly like.
So I thought it was very fitting.
Yeah, Emma Watson is female representative of the women's right in whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So she's a very strong.
But she doesn't seem like a dreamer. She's more of a go-getter.
That's where the smirk comes. That's kind of like a dreamer smirk.
But that description is almost every Disney princess out there.
That's not.
No.
But
at
the dreamer is.
At least 50%.
I think the smirk is more
so you're saying Brave, what's her name? From Brave, isn't like that?
That's different.
Or
That's Pixar.
Pocahontas?
So I to me the smirk is like, it's very confident and it's like, I've already conquered the world. That kind of a feeling to it. Whereas like,
oh, so like a cocky ass.
Yeah, it's a very cocky smirk. It's like, I know I'm this shit.
That's very interesting. I find that more of like an endearing smirk. So when you're like in a situation, you do that smirk to kind of.
Oh, someone's like, oh, you.
Like, you
she looks like she's trying to seduce you.
I don't know what you're imagining in your head.
You need to watch the trailer again.
A lot of people would be very happy if it feels like Emma Watson is seducing them.
So another funny thing about the movie too, like I don't think a lot of people know, but the movie's supposed to be based in the location of the movie is supposed to be in France.
Is it? I thought it was from Transylvania.
And there's only one character in the movie that speaks with a French accent. It's Lemieux, the candle dude.
Yeah.
I thought it would be really funny if everyone in the movie spoke with a French accent. That'd be hilarious, but I think it would definitely take away from it.
Yeah, I've seen a musical a couple months ago for Beauty and the Beast. I think only the candle guy spoke in a French accent as well.
Yes, for some reason, even though the whole thing is supposed to be in France.
Because he's very, like, flamboyant and very out there, so I don't know why they make him have super strong French accent, but from the musical, I hope they keep that same spirit. Are you guys gonna watch this movie though?
I'll still watch it, yeah.
I'll see the IMDb rating first.
Yeah, I'm like you. I'll see the rating first,
Yeah.
and then I'll be like, it has to be like a 7 or above.
Billy, you're gonna
Yeah.
watch it regardless because you're on 9gag.
No, I have to. It has to be like, especially for me.
At least 3 out of 10.
No, it has to be at least a 7, man. I can't.
Whatever.
watch it.
Everyone watches in it.
7.
You're gonna watch it.
It has to be at least a 7. There's so
Don't
many
like
other good
yourself,
movies
Billy.
to watch. Are you gonna watch it, Wayne?
Maybe.
Yeah, you're gonna watch it.
You know what I'm gonna watch? Power Rangers.
That looks so trash.
No, man.
Is that actually gonna come out? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's March 24th.
Holy.
It looks so
It
bad.
looks so good. No, regardless if it's good or not, it's because Power Rangers was what I grew up with. Like
Sure.
when I was 8.
What if it's as bad as that Dragon Ball movie?
No, Dragon Ball movie was just dumb, okay? Fuck that shit.
What if it was exactly like that? Would you watch it?
It can't be like that because it's from...
It can't be that bad.
They're doing a movie based in another country. Power Rangers was based in North America, so they can't really fuck it up that bad. And you know what's the best thing about it? I think it's based on the original Power Rangers.
Yes.
The Mighty Morphing one?
Yeah, the Mighty
Yeah.
Morphin Power Rangers.
Like Tyrannosaurus Rex, Mastodon, Pterodactyl, Saber-tooth Tiger.
Okay, you need to
Triceratops.
relax with your Power Ranger call out.
No,
Okay?
man. They have changed some stuff, and Goldar is a giant gold thing now, but...
It's CeeLo Green, right? Did you
Is
see
it CeeLo
CeeLo
Green?
Green in that
Oh,
green,
no, I didn't
that
see it.
Oh,
golden?
yeah.
Anyways, like in regards to other remakes too, Disney's also coming out with The Lion King.
Yes! Lion
You're super
King.
excited about that. Do you think they're gonna follow the original storyline, or do you think they're gonna?
Yeah, they have
Shake
to.
it up
Like,
again.
there's
No,
way.
I think they'll do more, because I don't think they're gonna make sing Warthog and Meerkat.
Why? Have you seen The Jungle Book?
Yeah, the Jungle Book was very accurate to the original movie too.
The Jungle Book? Disney?
Yes.
I don't know if it was, but basically that sets a precedence that you can have that style of animated movie, right? Like, it was like that bear looked so goddamn real.
Because I don't think I've ever seen Jungle Book, even the cartoon or live action. Lion King I've seen, because I think that Lion King will be a very dark movie.
No, it doesn't have to be, because the
It
thing about
needs to be.
No, but the thing about the original one is that it was so lighthearted in some areas, and it got so
It's
dark.
only lighthearted when Pumbaa and Timon was in the scene. That's the only time it's lighthearted. And when Simba's fucking around with what's her name, right?
Nyla or something?
Yeah,
Nyla?
but like because of Scar and the hyenas, it's gonna be a dark ass movie.
I'm really curious as to who's gonna play Scar. Like we know Danny Glover, Childish Gambino, or Troy from Community. He's playing Simba, and we have James Earl Jones playing Mufasa. And something we discovered right before the podcast was that they keep saying James Earl Jones as the voice of Darth Vader, but Wayne confirmed that he's actually the original voice of Mufasa too. So I don't know why they didn't say that.
You know how they can really fuck up the movie? Use Steve Buscemi as Scar.
Steve Buscemi, oh my god.
That was so like, what the fuck?
Who do you think is gonna play Zazu?
Which one?
Zazu.
Who's Zazu? Oh, he's the parrot, right?
Yeah, the
Zazu
toucan.
was in real life. Who was it?
Steve Buscemi should play Zazu.
No. Steve Buscemi is fucking Mr. Bean.
What?
You don't know what's his real
Mr.
name?
Bean.
Something English.
I don't know
No,
what it
Johnny
is.
English was another movie
Yeah.
he played. But do you know who Mr. Bean is?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Zazu.
In regards to other like weird characters, they're also doing Mulan in 2018. They're trying to do an all Chinese cast, but
So it's actually like a live action.
yes.
Wow.
And
But
they're-
TVB has one TV series.
the thing is, like with Mulan, they have that mythical dragon Mushu as well too, right? Originally, it was played by Eddie Murphy. I have a feeling I'm gonna call this right now. It's gonna be Kevin Hart. I have a good feeling
Kevin
it's
Hart's
gonna be
So
Kevin
so
Hart.
racist
everything.
of you to say that just because they're both black.
But they're gonna get that type of a character, like a
Yeah,
comedian, to do
I
it,
guess
right?
so, yeah.
And Kevin Hart is doing everything right now.
Which was your favorite Disney movies?
Aladdin.
Lion King.
Lion King?
Yeah.
Oh man, I really like Mulan.
I think-
Guys. I really liked Mulan.
Do you have a preference of who's gonna play Mulan? Because they don't really have. They're still casting, and a couple of people that they're looking at is Jamie Chung, Zhang Ziyi, who she's old. I don't know why they would choose her. Fan Bingbing.
I don't know any of these actors or actresses.
I think someone that's not traditionally pretty in the Chinese sense. So because Mulan wasn't traditionally pretty, she was more of she was more traditional Chinese
Angelina
looking.
Jolie, bet you.
No.
It'll work.
Angelina Jolie. Personally, I've always wanted Brenda Song to play the character. The thing is, I don't think she can pull off any of the singing. I just really like her look in terms of Mulan look. Jamie Chung currently plays Mulan in the Once Upon a Time, the TV show for Disney, with all the they like do a mashup of all the Disney characters and stuff. So she seems to be a front runner or a favorite to play the Mulan character, but I really don't like her as Mulan.
I really hope they do a good job of it, because Mulan was one of those different stories where the Disney princess, like, they made a new rule for her to be a Disney princess by saying that she has to do a heroic act. The other ones were all like, marry a prince, do all of these things and get trapped somewhere and then someone come save you, right? Like, she was the badass in the movie and did something about it, right? She saved China.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up are some other movies that are pretty interesting. They released a picture of the Han Solo movie, the standalone. Young Han Solo, who is a smuggler, and how he came to be. That's super interesting just because I'm huge on Star Wars. I don't know if you
Did
guys
they say
are.
who was going to play Han Solo?
They
I
did.
saw a poster.
So there is a link. I'm going to click on the link. We can share the link below as well, too. So they show a picture of the cast.
Is that Donald Glover again?
Yep, he's
Yeah.
also in this. He's going to be playing young Lando. Emilia Clarke is in here. She's from Game of Thrones as Daenerys Targaryen. There's Woody Harrelson, one of my favorite actors. And then, right in the middle there is young Han Solo. Oh, one movie I want to talk about was Scarface.
I've never seen that.
Me neither.
Seriously, this is like one of the greatest movies of all time.
I thought Godfather was one of the greatest movies. of all
That
time.
is as well.
Have you seen Godfather?
Nope.
Oh, man.
What?
I have.
How old are you, Gloria?
I'm 24. Turning 25 soon.
So do you go into like ancient archives to look for movies? Because I'm pretty sure those are movies you'll
What's
have.
that?
I don't know. It's something I just made up.
I just like the stroking the cat scene from
Stroking the cat? Oh my god, I thought it was something different. Never mind.
So I don't know why you haven't seen Scarface yet. One of the greatest movies, and personally like one of my top fives. They're remaking it with Leonardo DiCaprio. And out of all people, like, I feel like Scarface shouldn't be a movie that's gonna be remade.
Oh,
But do you feel like Leonardo DiCaprio can pull this off?
I think like Leonardo DiCaprio can do anything the fuck he wants. Have you guys seen Revenant?
Yes.
Yes.
Man, that bear raped his ass. Like,
Wait, Scarface is the one with Al Pacino's like, say hello to my little
Yes,
friend?
correct.
yeah.
I think that'd be so weird seeing Leonardo DiCaprio say that.
But he's such a good
Yes,
actor.
he's
Do
very
you think
versatile.
they'll actually put that in the movie just
yes,
for
yes, they
homage?
will. They better put that in the movie because he's so good at what he does.
Scarface is violence in suits, right? That's the gist of it.
Yeah, basically, they're the ones that have the guns. They're like,
See, the thing is, I can't see Leonardo in a suit but being violent because I feel like the moment he's in a suit, he just has that
But it's
blonde.
It's not a business suit. It's like a pimp suit.
He's a mafia type.
Yeah.
I just can't see it. Like, I feel like if he has the suit on, he just has that blonde hair, very sleek, sophisticated look.
What was that movie that he was in? Magnificent Seven. Have you seen that?
He was in
No.
there?
He was one of the rich guys. So he was in a suit and then
No, Django.
Django
Yes.
Unchained.
That is a good
Django
movie.
Unchained.
Oh, I wanted to watch
Okay, after watching that, yes, he can play.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you seen Django?
that. I wanted to.
He's the one that's like, I don't want it sounds so racist if I describe the
Just
plot.
say it.
Where he's like, he has the... Barely say it.
He was a slave owner.
Yes, slave owner. And he puts them into fight.
How's this racist? It's just
Because
restating.
those slaves are...
Because Wayne
Oh,
is secretly very careful of his words because he's very racist. he doesn't want to come off as a racist. I'm not afraid to say it because I know I'm not a racist. So I don't care. But okay, so his character is basically a rich guy in a suit who has guns everywhere, and he goes off on a shooting gallery with this other guy.
Alright, so you know what cockfighting is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically, instead of roosters...
They have black guys.
Why are you so afraid? Wayne? Just describe it.
I don't want people to think I'm a racist.
You're just
That's just the
describing
premise of the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that scene, yeah, he could be a low life,
Okay.
right?
Do you guys have a favorite movie though that you guys keep in mind? Because I used to have some movies I really liked, and then over time it just whatever.
One of my all-time favorite movies is The Princess Bride.
That's right.
Do you know this movie?
Oh
Is
my
that with,
God.
Andre the Giant?
Andre the Giant.
Yeah. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Yeah.
It must be really old then, right? Like,
It's really old. It's like in the
1980s,
Did it
80s.
make you cry?
No, it's hilarious.
Oh,
It's
funny?
so funny.
That he died?
No,
What?
he didn't die. Well, he kind of died.
Kind of died. No,
And
he
then
died in real life.
Oh,
What?
yeah, he died. Andre the Giant died.
Yeah, he,
Oh, okay.
yeah, he died really early. I think.
But The Princess Bride is hilarious. It's like one of the funniest movies.
Oh, it's
that-
too cheesy. So
I'm trying
cheesy.
to think of a movie that I can say that's really good, because right now in my head it's Aladdin. That's because Billy asked me. When I was a kid, that was the movie I would play every day, a few times a day, nonstop, because I love the movie.
You're like my sister with Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid. Just on a repeat. You can almost... Okay, here's the thing with the white people. White people memorize movies word for word. Like, you can play the movie in silence and they can play the entire movie
That's
out for
very
you.
racist.
This is-
I think that's just fans of a specific movie. But I used to be able to repeat Friends word for
No.
word because I've seen it so many
I
times.
did
That's
that with
crazy,
Simpsons.
dude.
So I'll be in the States when I visit my cousin and I'll watch Simpsons. I'll like do the line with the characters and my cousin will just stare at me like I'm a fucking weirdo. Simpsons is life.
Do you think your favorite movies though like shape who you are or what you do?
No
Well,
way.
I watch a lot of war movies. I love war movies, but I'm not going to go.
Well,
fight.
I do. My favorite, I've got two. One's Shawshank Redemption.
I just saw that recently.
that one I can watch
It's
several
pretty
times.
good.
Um,
I also like Green Mile.
I like the Green Mile as
Yeah,
well.
please, sir. I forgot the line.
but the other one I like is American Beauty, and that sort of shaped how I look at life.
I just watched that movie like a few days ago, and it's Kevin Spacey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Seems like he's doing a lot of stuff, like
It
helping
was back
people.
in the days.
No, but I'm like, even right now,
Yeah.
he's like helping a lot of people who's trying to get into like filmmaking.
What is American Beauty about?
It's twisted.
It's really dark. I was expecting it to be very light and like a romantic comedy type thing.
Like there's
And then-
several taboo stuff.
Pretty much right off the bat, I was like, "Oh
Like borderline
shit, this
porno?
movie is dark."
No, not like that.
I thought it was
but-
borderline porno. That's why I didn't watch it.
No.
There's boobs.
Oh, then I should have
There's
watched it.
boobs,
But
but they're like underage boobs.
it's kind of like covered in middle class life. So it starts out normal, but then you get to see everyone's dark thoughts about stuff.
Have you seen Gone Girl then? That kind of sounds somewhat like
Gone
similar.
Girl.
No,
That was
see-
a good movie.
It's a bit
No.
different because I just watched it recently, so it's pretty fresh in my mind. The main character, Kevin Spacey, he's like a single father. He's in
Spoiler alert, by the way.
Yeah, I don't care. It's an old movie.
1999 spoiler alert.
He's like a father in his like mid-40s, I guess. He has a teenage daughter in high school. I guess he's not really happy with his life the way it is, and or with his marriage or with his sex life. And his daughter has a super hot friend that he gets obsessive about, and he like fantasizes about having sex with her and stuff. Every character in this movie has some like demons that they're fighting, which is really interesting. And these are like really common problems you could see in other people. It's just kind of exaggerated.
So they basically try to replicate real life, but they kind of take it to further levels. So it looks like they're all regular people.
You're right.
That's what they're trying to sell the movie as. And then you kind of start crawling inside of people and then seeing how it manipulates and changes.
But the thing is, I feel like I haven't watched Gone Girl, but I feel like their thoughts are things that we'll probably end up thinking when we hit that age.
Yeah.
It's pure middle life crisis for all the family members.
So most of your movies seem like it was from a young age. So I don't know how it didn't influence you, or maybe you guys...
I've seen it later on in life.
Oh,
like
I
it
see.
wasn't. Yeah.
Oh, I see. So you didn't watch it at the time it came
It was
out.
during when I was staying up in university and I have an exam the next day. That's when I watched those movies.
Oh, that's some bad time
I
to
don't
watch
think she
those.
can watch, because I don't think she can watch American Beauty at 7?
No.
Because I think it was a radar movie at the time.
For me, I didn't watch a lot of those classic movies until I was a bit older as well too, except for The Princess Bride, which I watched in elementary school, and I watched multiple times. But I don't know. I haven't really seen any huge movie that really influenced me a great deal. It's just I watch it for entertainment and that's it.
I find that when I watch like a lot of like meaningful movies, like the last one I remember that moved me was that Theory of Everything one, right? And it was like it just shifts the way you think about stuff.
There's one movie that I watched that really messed with my mind a lot, and it was called Splice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Adrian
Splice?
Brody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And-
familiar.
Basically what it is, they bioengineered this like creature
Yeah.
by splicing a whole bunch of different DNAs together.
Ah,
And
yes.
It was so twisted and like ethically wrong. It just
Like Human Centipede?
Oh my god.
That wasn't even
I
that
want to
bad.
watch that again. 'cause
that
I
wasn't even
saw it
that
on my
bad.
feed.
Like with Splice, I came out of the theater and I was like, I don't know if I like this movie or if I hated this movie. I really don't know. I think that's the effect that the movie was supposed to have on you, because it was so good but so wrong at the same time.
Mm.
I love when movies makes you do that though. You feel so confused and weird inside. Something that's just visual and audio has like an actual effect on you. It's one of those things like, because we talked about our preferences for movies earlier, where Wayne's like, oh, I can like anything or just general movies that...
I love everything.
Yeah, but I have a very particular taste for movies that it has to be like of quality, I feel. So I can't watch those like Sharknado movies. Well,
those are trash.
Movies like that, I'm not gonna go and watch because just looking at the premise of it just looks really dumb.
I'm trying to think of a movie that was like, I don't know, recent that was not as good, but...
Avatar? No, sorry, not Avatar. Yes, Avatar.
Wait.
Not the blue people Avatar, the bald kid Avatar. I was really hoping that they can do like a whole series, but they ruined the
Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah.
It's alright.
Yeah, so movies like Suicide Squad.
It's alright.
I can't watch those movies because it's just trash movies to me. And I don't want to spend my time watching movies like that. But if it was different, like John Wick, where like it's just action and action for the sake of action, and they know what they are, they know their own genre, then that's okay, right? Which is why I think John Wick got rated so highly, because they just like headshots everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Right. The thing with like Suicide Squad and all the DC movies is like they're actually trying to make it good.
Yeah.
They just need to stop. Yeah. Marvel is kicking their ass.
The thing is, Marvel and DC movies, they're so different.
Because DC is trying to go with a dark side.
Yeah. And Marvel's like what, more of a comedic shit, right? I guess people can relate it to Marvel movies a little bit more.
The thing is, like, DC is doing so bad when they see the success of Marvel movies, they try to kind of follow in their footsteps, but they still want to keep their dark side to it, and it's like it just doesn't make sense. You're making trash movies.
Who made the Batman? The trilogy Batman?
Christopher Nolan.
I know, but was it Marvel or DC?
DC.
Oh, that was good.
Like Christopher Nolan was like a kind of like a standalone kind of an entity, right? He wasn't a part of the new genre, which is now of all these superhero movies. He was before that time era. So he's just good at making movies. Like that guy is just excellent at it.
I didn't like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies actually.
What?
I liked The Dark Knight Rises, and mainly it's because Heath Ledger killed it in his role.
Yeah, he was really good.
People saying the Joker on a TV series is supposed to be really damn good. Better than Jared Leto, at least. But
Jared Leto sucked.
yeah, it was better than Jared Leto. And some claims it's even better than Heath Ledger.
Heath
Have you seen
Ledger
it?
was so good.
It was very good. I'm like, he just redefined Joker.
All right, so that's pretty much a wrap for today. Thanks for tuning into the Faulty Logix podcast again. If you guys liked what we talked about this week, remember to click the subscribe button, like the video, share this with your friends. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Leave a comment if you have anything you want us to talk about or disagree with us or anything like that.
We like disagreements.
Remember to send Wayne nudes.
What? Fuck you, Billy.
All right, thanks for watching, guys.
Peace. You guys forgot Gloria.
You can say goodbye now.
Goodbye.